Okay, we're gonna set up for our saltwater circuit. These are the items that you're gonna use for the saltwater circuit. You're gonna need battery, a small pan of water, popsicle sticks or craft sticks. They might be slightly bigger and that is fine, there's no problem with that. Electrical tape, it could be a different color. A measuring spoon because we're gonna need to measure our salt later on. A 3.7 volt bulb, some aluminum foil, wire, salt, and a pair of scissors. Okay, so this part is just for the teacher to know. So let me show you how we're doing this. This is just your version. When the kids go to do this, we're gonna make a saltwater circuit. So I need to create some rods for my circuit. I'm gonna make some basically electrical rods. I'm gonna roll this popsicle stick in, but I'm also gonna roll in on the other end. I'm gonna roll in, and by the way, these ends are spliced off. I've taken the coating off of them. So I'm gonna roll this end in as well. And the kids don't have to make it perfect, I will tell you that right now. I've seen it work all different ways. So essentially this is what you're gonna end up with, or the kids are gonna end up with. They're gonna end up with a wire coming out of the foil, and it needs to be wound tight. I would recommend that for sure. And then a handle. So the handles are gonna be what the kids can hold, and they just don't wanna pull it all the way out. They wanna leave it in there because we are conducting electricity. This will be their safe spot to hold. This is not dangerous, by the way. They're not gonna get hurt. I need 2 of these though, so because I need a positive and a negative. So let me go ahead and make a second one, and I'll purposely do this one with a different color stick so you can see it. And this is essentially what the kids will be doing. Again, rolling that up nice and tight on the other end. Roll in my other wire. And you can roll them nice and neat so they're tight together. You don't need that much foil either. You can go with smaller pieces. I just did larger so you could see it easy on the video. So again, here is this part. Okay, and if we want to just test it right up front to see if this is working, I need to create a closed circuit. And let me go ahead and cut a couple small pieces of electrical tape. Get my battery. Okay, I need a power source, so this is my battery here. And I'm going to actually need an extra piece of wire just to test the bulb on this. But let me actually just move forward and show you the other part, because I want to make sure that you have everything you need. Okay, so I've got my battery, and it's coming to a rod. I'll need an extra piece to come from the battery to the bulb. So I'm just gonna, I have a little clip here to hold the wire. Let me get this in. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I have to think this through here. Battery to bulb. Okay, and then I need the battery to bulb. So I'm going to do this one. Okay. And now I'm going to connect this. Let me back this up to make it a little bit easier. And then I'm going to attach this one in on the other side. And right now, so I have my power source, and now I'm going to close my circuit, and the light bulb should come on. So I now have a whole closed circuit. But now, if we were to do this with the water, I'm going to take the battery out of the picture now. No, I'm lying to you. I'm going to leave that battery in the picture. That's my power source. Now my power source is my salt water. No, I'm thinking that through. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud here because I'm thinking of all the different ways I've had kids ask me this question before. We still need our power source because the power source has to light the bulb. But now I can change the intensity of the bulb. If I were to just put these in the water right now, I'm going to make sure my wires are actually touching the top of the battery. If you were using the other type of battery, you have to have one on the top where the little button sticks out and one on the bottom. And that works fine too. So right now, if I were to do this, putting my 2 rods in the water, the bulb does not light. Because I touched them. But now, just putting them in the water by themselves, the bulb does not light. Because there is no electrical activity going through that. So this is where the kids are going to test different levels of salt. I'm going to start off with just a small spoonful of salt first. They can mix that up. I'll use a stirrer. They can mix this up a little bit. And the bulb, the intensity of the bulb should change, and that's what the kids are trying to test. So right now, I have salt water, but I don't have much salt in there, so you see how dim it is. And then once we are done this experiment, and this will be using the papers that you have for the lab, that would be using these and using the saltwater circuit cards. Each group can do a different amount. Each will have 300 milliliters of water, and then their grams of salt will change. And this can be slightly modified if you guys don't have a whole lot of salt, but they need to write down what it looks like, what are the results. And then on their visual rankings, how much salt did they use to get low, medium, and high intensity on the bulb. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I just added more salt in here. And here we go. I'm just putting the 2 rods in the water, much brighter, and we could still get it brighter. So I'm not going to actually measure just for the sake of showing you how this is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and add a lot of salt in here. And in reality, it was about 3 of my little scoops here. And now my bulb should be nice and bright. And it is much brighter. So that's how they're going to do their saltwater circuit. Again, this is because these are touching and they're conducting electricity. The salt in this case is going to conduct the electricity. This video is for you. I have a different video for the students, and it'll walk them through the same process. But I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. Again, they'll need to do their observations. They have their saltwater cards, and this will be like 1 per group. Let them take their time on the measurement, because that's the thing that's going to make the difference. And you can give them a couple cards. You can be very random on this, or you can actually just give them set amounts and say, you do this, you do this, you do this. But they need to it needs to be careful measurements. And then when they're done, let them go ahead and do the reflection, because they need to be able to describe this process. This is going to connect into their moon outpost that they're going to be designing, because they need to have that factored in, because they're going to need to be able to create some type of in their design, they're going to have a way to create power. So this is one opportunity for them to learn, and then it'll give an opportunity to test and to figure out. But there's no other tricks with this. This is, but don't get rid of the water, because you're going to need that for the other activity. So once that water is collected, you can hold on to that water. We're going to use that for something else later today. So I hope that helps, and you can WeChat me if you have any questions. Thanks. Okay.